Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to our review of the classic historical American Girl books from the 90s. How are y'all doing? So today we are going to the year 1854, which is a minute ago. That was like, what? 10 years before the end of the Civil War. And we are going to be reading the American Girl book, Meet Kirsten. And I believe this was the second series in the American Girl line of their historical characters. And I really love it because I love Kirsten. She is such a bright and open-hearted baby. And we're going to talk about her today. So the story begins with Kirsten, an American girl. And, well, right now she is a Swedish girl. And she is traveling to that place called America on aboard a ship called the Eagle from Sweden, which is where she was born, to New York City. And I want to talk about why I love the Kirsten book series. I'm going to go ahead and say this is my favorite series after Josefina. I really like Josefina. And there's three reasons I really love it, especially now, because it's such a relevant series. First of all, it's a series about immigrants. And I think that's something in our American society we need to hear more, is that immigrants built this place. We are all descendants of immigrants. If you live in the United States, you are an immigrant or you're the descendant of an immigrant, okay? And that's just how it is. Like, even the native peoples and their ancestors crossed the Bering Land Bridge. You know, it's like the old Arlo Guthrie song, like, this land is your land, this land is my land. This land was made for you and for me. And that's why I'm saying I stand with our immigrant neighbors. Like, immigrants are hard workers. They only want a better life in this country. The majority of immigrants do. So we stand with immigrants in this time. Another reason I love this series is because it's about Minnesota. And Minnesota is a gorgeous state. I went there in 2023 for the X-Files convention, and it's just a lovely place. The people are friendly, the food's amazing, the nature is beautiful, the snow is deep. So, and Minnesota, we know you're going through your own hard time right now, and just want to say we stand with you, Minnesota. We love you. You are some hardy-ass people, and you are going to get through this. And this, my review of Meet Kirsten, is dedicated to the great state of Minnesota. And the third reason I love the Kirsten series is because it's so much like another children's series I loved when I was a kid, and that's Little House on the Prairie. Little House on the Prairie, I always joke, was our Hunger Games. And I feel that way about the Kirsten books. This was my generation's Hunger Games, and you'll see why in a minute. So, Kirsten's aboard the ship the Eagle, and she's crossing it with her family, her younger brother Peter, her older brother Lars, her mama and papa, and her very best friend, Marta. And we'll get to poor Marta in a minute. So, they're playing around the ship. They play in these giant coils of rope, which always look like so much fun to me. And then there's a giant storm, and we kind of get some exposition. They've been at sea for 2 fucking months, and everyone's tired of looking at each other. And they can see the strip of land that is America. And so there's a giant storm, and the next day they reach, hey, New York City. Now, one thing about this series I really like, and all the American Girl series, and the same reason I love series like Little House on the Prairie, is this shit actually happened. And that's wild to think about. And I know that seems like such a silly thing to say, that this stuff actually happened to real people. But it is one of the first, like, children's series I read that wasn't about, like, magic or fantasy or, like, causing the obstacles. These were people grappling with real-life problems threatening their existence. Which is why I call it our Hunger Games. So Kirsten and her family get to New York, and Kirsten goes out to the milk shop, and not the one from A Clockwork Orange, and she gets lost in New York, and but not that one. And a lot of people harass her, and I'm like, what the hell, people harassing this kid? And then she comes upon a very kind woman, and the woman speaks English, and of course Kirsten speaks Swedish, and they don't understand one another. And this is a really great scene, and I know what Kirsten does is used as a plot device, but it's a great window into her personality. So the woman is trying to ask her where she comes from, where her parents are, and Kirsten, of course, can't make her understand a word. And so she draws in the dust a picture of the ship to help the woman understand. And Kirsten, you know, one thing throughout the series is when Kirsten is put in a confusing or even dangerous situation, she's afraid, but she's more curious or concerned for the other person than she is terrified. And that's really cool, and that's why I headcanon Kirsten as an Aquarius sun. Happy Aquarius season, by the way. Because that's how Aquarians are. When they're thrust into a very strange, scary, or even dangerous situation, their first reaction isn't fear. It's, how can I connect to survive this, to get through this? How can I connect to this other person? And that's the way Kirsten is. Whenever she is in a situation like this, and you'll see it later on in the book, Kirsten Learns a Lesson, when she meets a young First Nations girl who cannot speak her language either of them, English or Swedish. And her first reaction is not, oh no, or this person's different, or I can't understand them. It's, how can I create a way to form a rapport with this person? And that's such an Aquarian thing. Like, that's how Aquarians react. So she's reunited with her family, and it's great. And then her and Marta are torn apart again. And Kirsten is going on a train to Chicago, and Marta, I think, is going on like a ferry. And so they're going to be separated, and they believe they'll never see each other again. And when I say it's wild to read these books and know that this stuff actually happened to real people during this time, it's like, it seems silly to say this, but like, it's so jarring to read something like that, where it's like, if we went to the other side of the world, we would have things like social media and smartphones and the internet. We could stay in touch with our loved ones. But as Kirsten says, when you go on the other side of the world during this time, the chances are very high you'll never see the loved ones again that you left behind. And that's what like the talk she gives about her grandma when they left Sweden, and her grandma, her Mormor, which is just a lovely name for a grandma. That's so cute. I want to be called Mormor if I ever have grandchildren or little kids that look up to me when I'm an old lady, a crazy old lady. Mormor told her to look at the sun when Kirsten missed her, and say a prayer. And when I say Kirsten's, like, the scene with drawing the ship to connect with the lady is her Aquarius sun, I think this quote to Marta, when she says this to Marta when they're about to be separated, is very Leo moon of Kirsten. And I headcanon, yeah, so and yes, I know Kirsten's birthday. I know Kirsten's birthday is in the spring. Okay. So I know she wasn't born in the time of Aquarius, but that doesn't mean she's not an Aquarius rising. You know, or like a Venus in Aquarius. Dumbass raccoon saying this stuff. And so this quote with the symbolism of the sun, it's very Leo energy. I always say Aquarius takes care of the needs of the collective, and Leo takes care of the needs of the individuals, because that's what Leos do. They're this bright, beautiful light. They are the brightest light in the zodiac. Like, their ruling planet is the sun. So people rally to them. Leos inspire people to do better, to do right. And that's why people follow them. They follow Leos for a lot of the same reason they follow Aquarians, because they lead through loving example. And that's what I see with Kirsten. Like, she's such a bright, like, smart, loving, open-hearted baby. people can't help but like come to her and rally around her and be like, I'm going to do better too. And her giving Marta that confidence and courage. It's such a Leo thing. Like, Leos care for the people and their pride. I don't think there's any sign more loyal than a Leo. So they're parted, and it's super sad. So, they get on a train, and the imagery, when I tell you these were our Hunger Games, I'm not joking. They get on a train, the windows are nailed shut. I'm like, oh, this is a Stephen King book. Great. Just how they describe the train as like this satanic horse, you know, belching black. I'm like, holy shit, is this an American book? An American Girl book or an Ozzy Osbourne album cover? So, but they do reach Chicago, and it's great. And they stay at a boarding house, and guess what? Marta's there. I know Marta's there. And Marta and Kirsten are reunited, and it's so great. They're hugging it out, and I'm like, yay! Kirsten and Marta, 5 our dream team's back together. This is a great ending for the book, people. I'm telling you, this is probably one of the best endings. Hold on. What? Excuse me? You said there's what? 15 more pages in this book? Oh, fuck. Somebody's gonna die, aren't they? God damn it. Oh, American Girl. Oh my god. Okay, so for I don't know. You can always tell a person that's never like had anything to do with the American Girl books because they're always like, oh, those books are for little girls. They don't mean anything. And then you read the American Girl books, and it's like The Witch, you know, or The Conjuring. Holy shit. These books are fucking sad. Okay. So they get to the river. There's a giant riverboat there called the Red Wing. Great name for a boat, by the way. Named after the Red Wing blackbird. And Kirsten and Marta are just tearing it up, having a gay old time in the country. And then, wouldn't you know it, cholera strikes. That bitch. And Marta falls ill. And Marta dies. And it's... I think the Kirsten books... And another thing I love about the American Girl series is they were one of the first like children's book series I was introduced to as a child that did not sugarcoat a lot of shit. Like, they're very upfront about the very horrifying dangers these girls face day to day. And Kirsten, the sweet little baby, she hasn't even reached double digits yet. She's not even 10. And her best friend is dead. And so they're taking poor Marta out to bury her from the riverboat. And Kirsten's dad is like, okay, Kirsten, we need to, like, calm down and stop crying. And I'm like, hey, Dick, she's 9 and her best friend died in a day. Fuck off, Dad, for a minute. And her mom, like, lets her cry. It's a beautiful picture. I'll post it in this video. And she's just saying, like, let her have her tears. And these books are so damn emotional. Oh, my God. So they travel to Riverton, Minnesota. Everyone is fucking bummed. I can see why. God, then Kirsten has to leave her doll behind because the family can't rent a horse or wagon. They're all out of money. And so they're like, we're just going to have to carry our bundles to Uncle Olaf's house, which is where they're going to live in Minnesota, her dad's brother. And her dad's like, okay, Kirsten, pack that doll up. We can't carry that shit. I'm like, dude, her best friend just bit it. Okay, and she's 9. You could wrap the doll up in her shawl and carry it like a papoose. You sure fucking could, Dad. But Kirsten has to leave her doll behind. And it seems like a small thing, like a little girl having to, like, leave her doll behind. But then you think of all she's been through. That made me livid with anger. When I was a kid, I'm like, I'll carry your doll, Kirsten, while I stare at her dad in a threatening way. So after walking all day, they finally get to Uncle Olaf's house. And Uncle Olaf married a widow with 2 daughters. And it's no shade on this book, but it is kind of like, hey, Kirsten, here's your replacement friends for the one who just died. I'm sorry, but it does have those feels. Anyway, Lisbeth and Anna are her cousin's name, and they're really funny. Lisbeth's kind of like this deadpan leader, and Anna's like her little comedic sidekick. They're really cute. I really like those girls. And they lead Kirsten to their tree fort, which is pretty cool. And they're all kind of just introducing her to the American way of life. She puts on like her first cotton, like calico dress, and it's just these really simple things, like her first sunbonnet, and she's so excited about them. And I'm not gonna say it's a happy ending, but it's a great, like, it gives us hope for the next book, I guess. Just this book is as sad as The Color Purple, okay? If you want to know how sad it is, or The Green Mile. So just read it with caution. So that is the first Kirsten book in the series of the American Girl Kirsten series, and I hope you enjoyed it. Again, immigrants built America. We are all immigrants or descendants of immigrants. And you know what? We stand with Minnesota. Bless you, Minnesota. May peace come to you. We love y'all so much. Y'all have a good one, and y'all stay safe out there. Happy Aquarius season. Cheers.